Hello dear students of class 10th, welcome to geography class. I hope all of you are doing well. Students, in this video I shall be continuing with the third chapter of geography, that is water resources. So students, in the previous video I was explaining you about the advantages as well as the disadvantages of multi-purpose river projects, and basically I was dealing with dams. That what are the advantages of dam? I had already explained you the advantages, and I was dealing with the disadvantages or drawbacks of construction of dams. So I told you I had divided this topic, the reasons, the causes or the drawbacks, into two aspects, the geographical aspect and the social aspects. So I had already explained you about the geographical aspect, and in this video I shall be explaining you about the social aspects, that what are the social drawbacks, why they are opposed, why the construction of dams are opposed by the people. So first let us just revise very quickly about the geographical reasons. See, first of all, construction of dams, they restrict the natural flow of water, right? They create a artificial flow, and as a result of which the fine particles, they are not able to pass, they are not able to flow in the agricultural fields, rather they settle down at the bottom of reservoir, and as a result of which it affects the aquatic life, as a result of which it affects the aquatic life. Why? Because the streams gets rockier, rocks are there, so which affects the aquatic life. For reproduction, for spawning, they have to the aquatic animals, they have to migrate to another place. Then they also cause, then the construction of dams also causes submergence of existing vegetation, the vegetation of that area that needs to be cleared, or the whatever vegetation is left, that gets submerged into the water. Also, construction of dams they are unsuccessful in controlling flood at the time of rainfall, so which causes destruction of property, which causes soil erosion, land degradation, and also causes several waterborne diseases, and it also induces earthquake. So these reasons, these are the geographical reasons that I had already explained you. Now let me come to the social reasons, that why construction of dams are opposed by people. So the first social reason is large scale displacement. Social reason means impact on society. What is the impact of construction of dams on society? So first reason is large scale displacement. This is one of the biggest reasons. See, the people who are living in that area, they are displaced, they are greatly affected. Why? Because they have to move, they have to leave their land, they have to leave their home. Why? Because of the construction of multi-purpose river projects or multi-purpose projects. It can be dams or any other project. So the people living in that area, they are greatly affected, and especially the tribal people, the tribals or the local people, the local residents who are removed, who are displaced, they are affected due to the construction of, or because of the construction of dams. See, if I talk about the tribal people, the tribals, they are very close to the nature, they consider the nature as their god. So where will they live if they are displaced? So that is why the tribals as well as the local people of that area who are removed, who are displaced, they oppose the construction of dams. So students, these people, they have to give up their land, they have to give up their livelihood. So that is why these people oppose the construction of dams. Then the next point is unfair share of sacrifice. Now what is this unfair share of sacrifice? See, the people who have sacrificed their land, the people who have left their land because of the construction of multi-purpose river project, or it can be any multi-purpose river project like dam, canals, anything, they are not benefited. Why they are not benefited? Because they are not given proper compensation. they are paid less, they are underpaid, they are not given the proper amount, they are not given proper compensation, the proper funds are not given to them. So they are, since they are not given proper share, they are unfair treatment is done. So that is why these people oppose. See, they have to leave their everything, their land, their livelihood, everything, but the compensation they get for leaving their land, that is very less. So they have sacrificed more, but they are not provided sufficient funds. So that is also one of the reasons of opposing multi-purpose river projects. And also students, this opposition, the opposition has also led to several environmental movements like Narmada Bachao Andolan, Tehri Dam Andolan, and several other andolans or movements. Next point is change in cropping pattern because of irrigation, because of the supply of water. See, as the farmers are getting water, so they will cultivate more water intensive or commercial crops. They will not, in order to get more profit. For example, they will cultivate wheat, they will cultivate rice, because they are getting water, they are getting better irrigation facilities, as a result of which the other food grains, they will be produced less. So we will not be able to get the, so it will actually affect our health, because more rice will be produced, more wheat will be produced, pulses will be produced less. So our body needs everything, all types of vitamins, all types of vitamins, proteins, and everything in order to remain healthy. So we will, so if water intensive or commercial crops will be produced more, so we will eat those products more. So that will actually indirectly, that will affect our health also, because our body needs everything. So we will not get a balanced diet food, right? We will intake certain products more and certain products less. So this will affect our health. Also students, construction of dams has transformed the social landscape. See, the areas where irrigation has reached, the areas where irrigation facility have reached or has reached, their production has increased, and the areas where the irrigation facilities have not reached, those areas are not developed in terms of production, their less production will be there. So the areas having proper irrigation facility, their production will be more, and the areas having or not having proper irrigation facility, their production will be less. Also students, if I talk about the farmers who have their own land, or if I talk about the rich farmers, the middle class farmers, so the people who have their own land, they will be directly benefited, because they will get proper irrigation facilities, they will be able to grow more crops, and they will get more profits, so they will be in a profitable state. But if I talk about the farmers, the landless farmers who are not having their own land, or the small farmers, they will not be benefited from agriculture, they will not be benefited from dams, since they are not having their land, so where they will grow. So this will increase the gap between the rich and poor. So the gap between rich and poor, that will increase. The rich will become richer and the poor will become poorer. So this will increase the gap between the rich and the poor. So students, this is also one of the reasons for opposition or opposing the multi-purpose river projects. Now, see, water resources are limited, dams are limited, they are not unlimited, but the needs are unlimited. See, farmer wants water for irrigation purpose, hydroelectric plants wants water for electricity generation, urban societies want water, or they need water for domestic purposes, rural areas need water for their own purpose. So this is creating a conflict among several people. This is not only several people, but states as well as countries. So this construction of multi-purpose or having multi-purpose river projects or any project, this is creating a conflict between people, between districts, between states, between countries. Yes. If I give you an example, then there was an agitation between farmers and urban areas in Gujarat Sabarmati basin. It caused the situation of riot over the higher priority given to water supply in urban areas during drought and irrigation needs for farmers. So there was an agitation between the farmers and the urban areas. The farmers told that they need water for agriculture purpose, for growing food grains, but the urban societies, the urban areas, they told that they need water for fulfilling the domestic needs at the time of drought. So there was a agitation between the farmers and the urban societies, and it also creates disputes or between it also creates interstate water disputes. For example, if I talk about the Krishna Godavari dispute raised by Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka government. So there are several disputes between countries, between states, between districts, between villages. So these are these were the geographical as well as social or societal causes due to which multi-purpose projects are opposed. So these are the reasons, or I would say these are the drawbacks or disadvantages why multi-purpose projects are opposed by people and several groups. And there is a homework for you, that you have to make a list of interstate water disputes. See, there are several water disputes, interstate water disputes. So you have to make a list of interstate water disputes. So I hope that the drawbacks of multi-purpose projects are clear to everybody. So students, I have explained you several drawbacks of multi-purpose projects. Now the question is, if there are so many drawbacks or disadvantages, then there has to be an alternative also, because water has to be saved and managed well. This is the point, that we have to save and manage water. So how the water can be saved and managed well, how it can be conserved? So the best alternative of dam is rainwater harvesting. This is one of the best alternatives of dam, that is rainwater harvesting. Now what is this rainwater harvesting? See, it means that how the rainwater can be preserved and harvested. Rain is free. Yes, it is free for everybody. So how can that water which we are getting for free, how can that water be preserved, how can that water be conserved, so that we can utilize that water in an efficient way when there is a situation of crisis, water crisis, that time we can use that water, that rainwater. So it is a very simple method. It is the collection and storage of rain rather than allowing it to run off. Means we have to conserve the rainwater. If it is not conserved, then what happens? It just runs off, it is wasted, it goes to the streets, it goes to the drainages, and it is just it goes and mixes with the rivers or ponds. So it is, in a way, it is just like wasted. So how can we use it? How can we save it? How can we conserve it? It is a very simple process which I am going to explain you. See, rainwater harvesting is a economically and environmentally viable alternative in the period of resistance, that means in the period of opposition against multi-purpose projects. So this is one of the best methods, or I would say, or best alternative, which is economically and environmentally viable. This is cheap method, rain is free and we can save that free water, and it is environment friendly also. It is not causing any harm or any damage to the environment. If we save that rainwater, is it causing any damage or any harm to the environment? Not at all, it is not causing. So this is a simple process or technology used to conserve rainwater by collecting, storing, conveying and purifying of rainwater that runs off from rooftops, parks, roads, open grounds, etc. for later use. So the rainwater has to be collected, it has to be stored and then conveyed and purified so that it can be used in an efficient manner. See students, there are variations in water harvesting systems, because everywhere it cannot be done in a uniform manner. There are different techniques, there are different ways that are used at different places. So according to the ecological condition and their water needs. So according to the ecological conditions and the water needs, that has to be kept in mind. So that way the water has to be collected and saved for later use. See, if I talk about Rajasthan, then the technique of rainwater harvesting of Rajasthan may differ from hilly areas. So the techniques may differ because of the ecological condition. The techniques or the ways of conserving the rainwater may differ. So they vary from place to place, they vary from one place to another. And now I am going to explain you about the different techniques and methods of rainwater harvesting in different areas. So students, I am going to explain you about the different techniques and methods in the next video. Till then, thank you so much. Please revise your lessons well, and I'll meet you in the next video with the different techniques that are the different techniques of rainwater harvesting in different areas. So till then, thank you so much and stay safe.